All right, guys, let's talk about the co-main event out in Phoenix, Arizona, UFC on ESPN 1 Sunday. When is it again?
Sunday.
That's right. It is a Sunday affair, so no confusions. You can't blame it on us. And the co-main event breakdown goes like this. It's basically a flip a coin. I'm looking at minus 115, minus 105, minus 110, minus 120, minus 115, minus 115. Shop around is all I can say, but it looks like an official pick-em fight between James Vick and Paul Felder. All right, girls, let's start it off on your side this time. Who do you like in this one?
I think I'm going to surprise you guys.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be a great fight. I don't think there's going to be a finish, but I'm going to go with James Vick.
Okay.
However, I believe James Vick has to be a completely different fighter. I think he really has to be a little bit more patient in this fight. I think he's got to use that distance to his advantage and really circle out, use every inch of that octagon, because when Paul Felder gets going, he is insane. All right? I think Vick can do it. I've heard a lot of the things he's been saying, a lot of stuff that he's been working on, and I believe that this may be his night.
Yeah, so I flip-flopped. Speaking of flipping a coin, that's what I've been doing. Every time somebody asks me about this, I seem to flip-flop on my answer. I think both guys are exciting for the lightweight division. And if they were to fight 10 times, I could see this thing going 5-5. But they don't. They fight one time, and that's it, at least for now. I'm always a big fan of speed. So with that, I think I'd go with Felder. But when you got size like James Vick and you got reach like James Vick, it's something to consider, you know. Felder, luckily, this isn't like his third fight in the UFC or his 8th fight overall. He's got a lot of experience, and he's with a camp that knows how to prepare for different types of opponents. So I'm expecting the Felder to be able to, maybe neutralize it a little bit. I mean, may he eat a straight jab or some knees along the way? Sure, of course, but you'd expect that in a fight like this. But this fight, I think, is going to be decided in the third round. I see it going, 1 round apiece going into the third round. Maybe a finish in that round, just because, again, both guys can crack. They just crack in different ways. But I think Paul Felder will be the guy that might be able to eke it out in the very end. James is the one working off of a loss. Not that Paul isn't, but I think Paul was in a fight where he just took the Perry fight because of the way it played out. I think he knows he belongs probably at the lightweight division, but Vick took that loss hard. We've had Vick on the show, and it seems like he's been able to put that, shed that loss and put it in his rearview mirror. But still, another thing's to say it, and another thing's to go out there and fight it. And I don't know that Felder's the comeback fight. So in a squeaky close split decision, I'm going Felder.
Yeah, I'm with both you guys in the sense that I see this going to the decision, but I dare not say that's the safe bet in this fight if there is one, because they're both so skilled and dangerous. Would any of us really be surprised if a finish was produced? I don't think so. That said, I do think it's going to a decision, but yeah, there's some real interesting factors that I think you guys both laid out very well. I think Vick's going to definitely have an advantage at range, his jab, and where he's coming from. Even though he did take that loss hard, like George said, Vick's a very smart guy, smarter than a lot of guys give him credit for. I think he tactically knows what he needs to do, but
and he owned the loss.
He did. But the dangerous part about that is the way I've seen guys being able to beat Paul Felder is you have to be as tough and at least as skilled, if not more, in the striking realm with him, which is a pretty tall order, guys. But we saw guys like veterans like Pearson able to eke out a split decision, or Edson Barbosa, or even Mike Perry, who obviously had a bit of a power and size advantage that was up at welterweight. And making no excuses, yes, Felder did break his forearm in a spinning back fist, but you have to kind of get in those fires. And as we've seen, that doesn't really behoove James Vick, not just because he's coming out of off of a tough knockout loss, but because he has all that reach and he needs to use it, like Goz said. Question is Paul Felder going to be able to slip and move into it? And you guys were talking about the camp change with Duke Roufus. I feel like it's a perfect meld. Roufus does well with fighters who are a meld between that Muay Thai and traditional martial arts style, and we saw it dating back to Felder's fight with Alessandro Ricci, where he comes in there, shows excellent head movement and ability to slip, move, and not just throw kicks or put them together. The whole package, I really like it. For that reason, I will go with Felder, because if you look at Vick's losses, generally, the common thread are pressuring guys who with a Muay Thai attack. Beneil Dariush, granted, was from a southpaw stance. Justin Gaethje, obviously, and even Francisco Trinaldo, who Vick did beat, but it was a tough 3-round decision that he really had to earn, right? So for that reason, I'm more with George here. I think it's going to be a close, possibly even a split decision. But I'll side with Felder. But yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable leaning heavy on either man here if you're putting money on this fight.
There you have it. That's our co-main event breakdown for UFC on ESPN 1.